right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday Night Basketball, brought to you by the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. My name is Dave Little, and I am coming to you from the Dave Cave with a very interesting game tonight, a Silver Division matchup between the Detroit Pistons and the Cincinnati Royals. So let's take a look at the ball game. And we can see the current standings in the 1970-71 Epic Basketball League. And for those of you who have been watching the streams, first of all, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Already got our Red Sox fan, Bobby Catalanato, Rob, ID Jester in the chat room. And here we go. In the Silver Division, Milwaukee is still undefeated at 13-0. And we'll see if they can run the table. As you recall, this is a 20-game league divided up into 3 tiers. Each team plays only games within its own tier. And at the end of the season, the bottom 2 teams in each of the upper tiers will get relegated downwards, and the top 2 teams will get moved up. Also, when the regular season ends, we will get started with playoffs, beginning in the Bronze Division. And the top 2 survivors in the Bronze Division will move up and play playoffs in the Silver. So there will be 8 teams in the Silver Division, and the 2 survivors of those playoffs will play against the 6 teams in the Gold Division for the playoffs. So even the lowly Portland Trail Blazers still have a chance to win the title. But the question is whether anybody will ever beat the Milwaukee Bucks, featuring Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor. Tonight's game features the Detroit Pistons and the Cincinnati Royals, and as you can see, both of these teams are fighting with the Seattle Supersonics for the survival in the Silver Division. Nobody wants to get relegated down to the 3rd Division for next year. And I picked this game because it, number one, it's meaningful, and number 2, it is the closest point spread of tonight's games. So it will be the Royals and the Pistons going at it in Detroit at the Cobo Center. So let's get the ball game started. So we will go Cincinnati and Detroit. We'll play that next. And you can see Detroit is now favored by 3 in their home game, in their home stadium at the Cobo Arena. Now let's go to the starting lineups. For the Royals, it will be 2 very exciting rookies, Sam Lacey and Nate Archibald. Archibald out of the University of Texas El Paso, and Lacey out of New Mexico State University. Norm Van Leer, the veteran, actually second year out of St. Francis University, plays the shooting guard, and Van Leer actually led the league in assists. And as of the last time we looked in, the Royals had a very long streak of consecutive free throws made. So Van Leer's had an interesting season. Tom Van Arsdal, 6th year out of Indiana University. Dave, I'm dark, need a light on my face. It should be the ball game on. How about if I do that and that? Does that make me look any better? Now I'm pasty white. And I can barely see my lineup cards. But we are good to go. Now it is pasty white Dave, large and in charge. What I need in the Dave Cave is overhead lighting instead of that backlighting. But one of these days, one thing at a time in the Dave Cave. The other thing the Dave Cave needs is a new webcam to show the tabletop. And once I get a tabletop webcam set up, should be in the next few weeks, I will do some tabletop Legends of Wrestling, and I also have a History Maker baseball game in the works. Once I get the teams created. Okay, let's try one more thing. We'll try just a little bit of backlighting. And I am medium dark again now. Dave Gardner's in the chat room. Hello, Dave. As we navigate our technical issues. And let's go back to the Royals starting lineups. Jumpin' Johnny Green is your power forward, and he has had some really fine performances for the Royals here lately. And for the Detroit Pistons, they are a little thin at the guard position due to a couple of injuries. In particular, let's see, who are they missing? They've got Dave Bing starting at the shooting guard, Howie Comives at the point guard, and Jimmy Walker at Providence is your backup. Erwin Mueller out of the University of San Francisco is your starting small forward. Terry Dischinger out of Purdue is the power forward. And Big Bob Lanier, rookie out of St. Bonaventure, first team all-rookie in the 1970-71 season, is your starting center. So the starting lineups are set, and we are ready for action. And thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Welcome to Cobo Arena for tonight's game between the Cincinnati Royals and the Detroit Pistons. Cincinnati has lost 6 straight, but they won the tip-off, so that should make them feel better. They're going to work the ball around the perimeter looking for an opportunity to shoot. Johnny Green has the ball outside, still 12 seconds to shoot. Can't find an opening. Gets it out to Archibald on top. Archibald's going to take it to the hoop with 3 seconds on the shot clock. And he tries to get it to Van Leer and throws it into the front row. Out of bounds, Detroit basketball. So here come the Pistons on offense for the first time. Working from left to right on your radio dial. And they are going to look inside to Erwin Mueller for the first shot of the game. Mueller inside, and he's got it stolen by Archibald. It is a 5-on-4 break. Tiny Archibald is going to run the break, and he pushes the numbers, and he will take it himself all the way, lays it up and good for the first points of the game. 2-0 Royals as the Pistons set it up once again. Howie Comives looks to work the ball from the point guard position. He passes it over to Bing. Bing back to Comives. Comives walked. Second turnover for Detroit already. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Pistons. And they have got the home crowd disappointed here in the game's opening moments. Back comes the Royals on offense. Archibald, guarded tightly by Comives, looks to work the ball down to Van Arsdale on the wing. Van Arsdale has the tough defense of Erwin Mueller to contend with. Archibald's going to put it on the floor. He barrels into Lanier. Layup is no good, but they call the foul on Lanier, and Tom Van Arsdale will shoot 2 for the Royals. Van Arsdale, 72% shooter in the regular NBA season. He connects on the first, and the second shot is up and good. So Van Arsdale has his first 2 points of the game, and the Royals lead 4-0. Let's see if the Pistons can get some offense going. They've got Lanier on the post, and he's got a mismatch against Tom Van Arsdale on the switch. But Lanier cannot get the turnaround jump shot to go. Lanier gets his own rebound, but Terry Dischinger is called for the over-the-back foul, and it will be Jumpin' Johnny Green to shoot 1 for Cincinnati. Green not a solid free throw shooter, but he gets this one to go for his first point, and the Royals now lead by 5. Detroit coming back. They're going to try Lanier again on the low block. Gets the ball in the pick and roll, and he turns around and gets this one to go. First 2 points of the night. Last time against Cincinnati, he scored 28. So look for big things from Lanier here in tonight's contest. Van Leer is going to get the ball for the first time. Gets it over to Van Arsdale. Van Arsdale takes the shot, and he drills it. 7-2 Royals. Cincinnati off to a good start here tonight. as Detroit looks for an opening on the offensive end, working the perimeter. They get it down to Lanier. Inside, 10-footer spins out, rebound Sam Lacey. Cincinnati coming back. They're going to look inside once again to Van Arsdale. We've got a whistle and a stoppage of play for Johnny Green, who was shaken up briefly, but he will stay in the game, and Cincinnati will reset the offense after that brief injury timeout. It's going to be Norm Van Leer. Van Leer dribbles. Outside, guarded by Bing. Shot no good, pulled down by Johnny Green. Green with the putback attempt. He lays it up and good. That's 3 points for Johnny Green and a 9-2 lead here for Cincinnati in the early going. Detroit's going to keep pounding the post. They get it into Lanier. Van Arsdale on the defense, but Lanier gets loose and scores again. And he's fouled on the play by Sam Lacey. So Lanier comes to the line. And Dave Garner wants to know, Cincinnati had an NBA team. Yes, they did. They had the Royals. And this was, I believe, their final season in Cincinnati before they moved to Kansas City and became the Kansas City Royals. And then in the early 80s, that team moved out to the West Coast, to Sacramento. And this is now the Sacramento Kings. So they went from Cincinnati Royals to the Kansas City Royals to now the Sacramento Kings. But this was the early iteration of the Royals. They were very popular when Oscar Robertson was in town, but they have just traded Oscar Robertson prior to the 70-71 season and brought in Nate Archibald through the draft. Bob Cousy was the head coach, and there were some issues between Cousy's ego and Cousy's coaching style and Oscar Robertson being the big man on campus. And Cousy won the battle but lost the war, as the Cincinnati Royals never quite made it back to their glory years when Oscar Robertson left town. So we've got Lanier at the free throw line for one shot after the hoop and the harm. A 73% free throw shooter on the regular season. Can't get this one to go, rebounded by Johnny Green. And Cincinnati will set up the offense. They are going to look inside to Johnny Green, working against Dishinger on the low post. And Green gets the bounce. 5 points already for Johnny Green, off to a very good start tonight. And the Royals lead 11-4. Lanier once again on the low post. Defended by Lacey. Short jump shot. Banks off. Rolls off the rim, no good, but Lacey is called for the foul, and that is his second. So the Pistons are behind, but Bob Lanier is doing all the damage for Detroit here, and he's already got Sam Lacey in foul trouble in the first 3 minutes of tonight's game. Lanier's first free throw is good. And Connie Dierking is into the game for Cincinnati to replace Sam Lacey with the foul trouble. Dierking, a local product of the University of Cincinnati, in his 10th season of play. Lanier tees up the second free throw. He missed it, and Green gets the rebound. Lanier has all 5 points for Detroit, and they're going to need some help as the Royals have jumped off to a good start tonight. Norm Van Leer on the perimeter. Jump shot no good. Tipped by Van Arsdale no good. Johnny Green with the rebound. His putback is up and good. That's 7 for Johnny Green already in the opening moments of tonight's game. Detroit's going to get the ball to Dave Bing now. Bing is guarded by Van Leer, but he steps around Van Leer, lays it up and good for his first basket. Bing is just what they need to support Lanier and get Detroit back into this ball game. Cincinnati has Dierking on the low post, but he is being smothered defensively by Lanier. So they continue to look around. They get it to Van Arsdale outside, guarded by Mueller. Van Arsdale's going to put it on the floor. He drives. He's cut off by Lanier. He stops and pops, and it hangs on the rim and drops in. 6 points now for Van Arsdale, and it is a 15-7 lead for Cincinnati. Howie Comives comes off the pick and roll. He's guarded by Dierking on a mismatch. Comives lets fly from the top of the key, around the rim and out, and Dierking gets back for the rebound for Cincinnati. The Royals will set up. They're going to look to Van Leer outside. on the switch against Terry Dissinger. His fall-away jump shot is no good. Erwin Mueller escapes with the rebound, and he is fouled on the loose ball foul by Connie Dierking. Actually, Lanier was the recipient of that foul, and he will go to the line for one shot. Lanier, a 73% shooter, connects on the one shot. It's 15-8, and Cincinnati basketball. They've got Van Arsdale on the switch, but he's on the baseline. Let's see what he can do. His jump shot, no good. Rebound, Lanier. Detroit comes back the other way. They're going to push it down to Lanier on the post once again. He backs in on Dierking. Pump fake, short jump shot, no good. And the rebound is tipped and controlled by Van Arsdale. Cincinnati has the numbers. It's a 3-on-2. Tiny Archibald leading the break. Green to Van Arsdale, no good. And Dave Bing comes off with the rebound. Nice transition defense by the Pistons to prevent that fast break and regain possession of the basketball. Comives again is going to call his own number, working against Nate Archibald. His jump shot is swatted away by Van Leer. Lanier picks it up, but we've got a loose ball foul on the play, and they're going to give that foul to Comives. Frustration foul after getting his shot swatted away by Van Leer. Johnny Green is going to shoot one for the Royals. And Green's shot is up and good. 8 points now for Johnny Green in a very productive first quarter. Pistons come back the other way. Once again, they're going to look inside. This time it's going to be Dischinger with his first opportunity. It's tipped out of bounds, but Detroit will keep possession. 12 on the shot clock as Detroit is set to inbound. They get it to Comives, working against Archibald. Comives drives, passes to Mueller. Mueller fakes. His jump shot is no good. Lanier takes the rebound. Lanier with the putback. Nothing but net. Lanier has now 8 points out of the Pistons' 10. And he is the only guy keeping the Pistons in the game at this point. Cincinnati coming back. They look down to Johnny Green on the post. Dean posting up on Dischinger. Gets the teardrop shot to fall, and he is already in double digits. 10 points, 4 rebounds in the first 5.5 minutes of play for Jumpin' Johnny Green. Detroit looks to Mueller on the low post. Mueller posting up, hits the turnaround over Comives, and he converts his first basket of the game. 18-12 now in favor of Cincinnati. Cincinnati looking for a shot opportunity. They're going to look to Norm Van Leer. Lanier outside under pressure, and he is unable to do anything but call for a timeout. So Cincinnati uses their first timeout of the game, still leading by 6 points with just over 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Royals to inbound. Green's going to look to Van Leer outside. What's he going to do? He drives to the basket, lays it up, and good. Van Leer finally gets on the scoreboard, and the Royals extend their lead to 8 points, their biggest lead of the game. Detroit's going to keep pounding it down to Lanier inside. His jump shot is no good, but he's fouled by Dierking, and that's 2 on Dierking. So both the big men for Cincinnati are in early foul trouble, as Lanier is just asserting himself on the low post. Lanier's first free throw is good. That's his 9th point of the game. And it's going to be Charlie Polk, the third stringer, coming in to test his luck against the dominant Van Leer on the low block. Lanier, the second free throw is good. And he is now in double digits. It's all Bob Lanier and all Johnny Green tonight. And here comes the Cincinnati offense. Polk is smothered by Lanier, so they're going to look down to Johnny Green on the low block. Finally, he misses the jump shot. Howie Comives comes out with the rebound, and back come the Pistons on offense. They're going to keep pounding it into Lanier. He's guarded by Polk. Lanier lays it up and good, his 12th point of the night. What is Cincinnati going to do? They're going to try Charlie Polk on the inside. His two-handed layup falls out. Lanier grabs the offensive board and tosses it back out, and the Royals will reset the offense with a fresh 24. They're going to look back to Johnny Green. He's their hot hand. They can't find him, so Archibald takes it himself. His shot no good, rebounded by Erwin Mueller. Detroit still got Lanier open on the post. Short jump shot off the rim, no good. Another rebound for Johnny Green. Cincinnati sets things up. They go to Charlie Polk on the low block. Both teams pounding the inside. Polk can't get this one to go. Johnny Green grabs the offensive rebound. Green's put-back attempt is up, and he drains it. That is 12 for Green this quarter. 12 for Green, 12 for Lanier, and the Royals continue to hold a 6-point lead as we are now under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Dave Bing on the perimeter, fakes, shoots the short jump shot. He's down for a moment, and the foul is called on Charlie Polk. So now the third-string center for Cincinnati picks up the foul, and Bing will go to the free throw line. Bing was first-team All-NBA in 70-71 and also named one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. His first shot is good. Third point of the night. And now we've got Sam Lacey coming back into the game to replace Johnny Green. Johnny has earned himself a rest. But they got to be careful with Lacey back in the game and those two fouls. Bing hits the second free throw, and the Pistons have cut the lead to 4. The Royals set up on offense. They're going to look to Van Leer. He gets it inside to Polk. Polk with the turnaround jump shot, no good. There's a whistle and basket interference on Polk. He tried for the offensive board, took the ball off the rim, and the referees waved that off and gave the basketball back to the Pistons. So Detroit will set the offense. They've got Bing working against Sam Lacey on the outside. Bing is going to try and take advantage of that mismatch. His jump shot's no good, and Lacey backs up and grabs the rebound. The Royals come back on offense. They are going to look to Van Leer once again. Van Leer taking care of the ball, drives to the basket, and he is called for the charge. First personal on Van Leer, as Detroit brings in a bunch of replacements to give their guys a rest. Jimmy Walker's into the game. Steve Mix is into the game. Otto Moore is into the game down low. So Lanier and Green both with 12 points for their respective teams, and both of them are now going to take a rest, and we'll let the second units play for a while. Jimmy Walker, the dynamite kid, walks right into the game and misses his first jump shot, but Van Arsdale got him with the body, and that puts the Pistons into the bonus. So Jimmy Walker will get 3 to make 2. He connects on the first. Very reliable 83% free throw shooter is Walker. His second shot is also good. And the Pistons have cut the lead to 2. So Cincinnati led most of the first period, but the Pistons are right back in it as Cincinnati comes back to set the offense with just under 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter. They're going to look inside to Charlie Polk. Posting up against Ischinger, he walked. Turnover on Polk, and Detroit has the basketball with a chance to tie the game. Detroit substitution Bill Hewitt out of USC into the game for the first time. And they are going to set the offense for Detroit. Nothing good on the first look. They continue to run the motion offense. They've got it to Mix now on the perimeter working against Van Arsdale. He doesn't like what he sees, so he is going to toss it back out to Dave Bing and let Bing go to work on Nate Archibald. Bing's jump shot is good. Last time out against Cincinnati, Bing went off for 39 points, and he is just getting started tonight with 6 here in the first quarter. Cincinnati back on offense. Now the game is tied after that jump shot. They're going to look down low again to Charlie Polk. Van Leer nails him with a perfect pass, and Polk lays it up and good. Van Leer was your assist leader in the NBA this year, and he has got 2 assists already in tonight's opening period. Jimmy Walker's going to go to work. And he's picked by Archibald. He telegraphed that pass. Archibald leads the break. It's a 4-on-2 for the Royals. Detroit is back. Archibald traveled. He couldn't decide whether to take it to the hoop or dump it off, and got caught in the middle and took steps. This was the 70s in the NBA where they actually called traveling from time to time. And here comes the Detroit offense looking to tie the game once again. And it's going to be Dave Bing working now against Flynn Robinson. Bing on the fall away hits, and that's 8 points for Bing in the first period. High scoring first period as both teams are shooting right at 50% from the field and shooting well from the free throw line as well. Cincinnati comes back. Norm Van Leer comes off the pick wide open. He drills the jump shot, and he draws the foul on Steve Mix. The referees in the stands didn't like that call, but their opinion means nothing as Norm Van Leer goes to the free throw line. Van Leer with that long free throw streak. He gets this one, and that is 39 straight for Norm Van Leer. And the Royals now have a 3-point lead after the 3-point play. Detroit's going to go back to Jimmy Walker. He drives and goes under the hoop. Reverse layup is good. Walker with 4 points off the bench, and once again it's a 1-point game. What's Cincinnati going to do? They're going to look inside to Sam Lacey now, working against Otto Moore. His jump shot won't stay down. Hewitt grabs the rebound and outlets to Jimmy Walker. Jimmy Walker is going to run the break. He's got Mix on his wing. Walker ahead to Mix. Mix lays it up, no good. Jimmy Walker comes off with the rebound, and he passes it back out on top. And Detroit will reset the offense. Walker turns around, puts one up. It's no good. Bing and Van Leer jostle for the rebound, and Van Leer comes out with it for Cincinnati. Cincinnati with the ball and a 1-point lead. 2 minutes to play first quarter. They look down to the power forward, Charlie Polk, inside. He shuffles his feet. They let him get away with it, and his short jump shot falls. And once again, Cincinnati is on top by 3. Jimmy Walker says, "Give me that ball." He drives, he runs into Polk, lays it up, no good. But he is fouled by Polk, and that is another center in foul trouble for Cincinnati. Their whole front line has got 2 fouls now. Polk with 2, Lacey with 2, Dierking with 2. Jimmy Walker to go to the line. Once again, he'll get 3 to make 2. He only needed 2 the first time. And he delivers the first one here. As Johnny Green comes back into the game to replace Polk, they've still got Lacey out there with 2 fouls. And Walker with the second free throw, also good. 29-28 Royals. 94 seconds to play first quarter. Cincinnati runs the offense. They look inside to Sam Lacey working against Otto Moore. He lost the ball. He got it back, but he dropped it out of bounds. Turnover Cincinnati. And the Pistons now have a chance to take the lead for the first time in tonight's game. Coming in for Cincinnati now, it's Fred Foster. Third-year man out of nearby Miami University of Ohio. Just up the road from Cincinnati. Comives back in at the point for Detroit, as Bing will take a rest. Okay, Pistons basketball with a chance to take the lead. They are going to look inside to Hewitt, working against Johnny Green down low. Posting up, short jump shot, he gets it to go. First basket for Hewitt, and the Pistons have their first lead. Flynn Robinson now running the point for Cincinnati. He is not shy about pulling the trigger, and he sets and launches and drills one from the top of the key to put Cincinnati back out on top. Detroit running the offense. 51 seconds now to play first quarter. Steve Mix stops and pops, no good. Johnny Green with his 7th rebound in the first quarter. And they are going to look to Johnny Green on the low block. Working inside against Hewitt. Short jump shot, nothing but net. 14 points this quarter for Johnny Green. And the Royals have a 3-point lead once again. As Detroit brings the ball up. The shot clock is still on, just barely ahead of the game clock. But Detroit's going to hold for a moment and see if they can't get to the final shot of the period. Shot clock down to 11. Steve Mix has the ball inside against the smaller Hyder. He spins, he shoots, no good. Hyder with the rebound. Will Cincinnati be able to get off a shot? 4 seconds to play. Robinson outside, puts it up, no good. And at the end of the first quarter, the Royals hold a 3-point lead as both Johnny Green and Bob Lanier had huge performances in that first quarter. Let's go to your box score. And for Cincinnati, you can see Johnny Green 6 for 8 from the field, 14 points to go with 7 rebounds. And Lanier was 4 for 8 from the field, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, a total of 12 points. Only 2 rebounds for Lanier. But if you look at this number, the foul totals, 2 on Dierking, 2 on Polk, 2 on Lacey. It's going to be a long night for the Cincinnati front line if Lanier keeps dominating them on the low block. And I am going to grab a quick drink to keep the pipes nice and cool while we look at the chat room. So tell us, Rob, who said my daddy was a pistol and I'm a son of a gun? Let's hear the answer to Rob's trivia. And some banter about the Kansas City Royals during their basketball years and subsequently their baseball years. And the mystery remains as to who said my daddy was a pistol and I'm a son of a gun. Sounds like something Dusty Rhodes would have said back in the day, or possibly Ric Flair, knowing Rob. Although Dusty fancied himself the son of a plumber. And according to Ric Flair's autobiography, he was the adopted son of an obstetrician. And of course, as we all know, Ric Flair was raised with a silver spoon. Okay, let's get back to action as we await with bated breath the answer to Rob's trivia question for the night. Starting the second quarter, it will be Detroit controlling the jump ball and looking to work the ball around the perimeter where Bing is waiting. Bing is going to take the ball against Foster. He drives. He lays it up. No foul called as there's a collision inside, but Bing gets the layup to go, and he is now in double digits. And the Royals come back, and they've got Flynn Robinson, the trigger man. He takes the 18-footer, no good. Rebound Otto Moore for Detroit. Detroit now has a 2-on-1 with Bing and Otto Moore. That may not be the best combination to run the fast break, and sure enough, Hyder comes back and gets the steal. Hyder with the steal for Cincinnati, and the Royals set up looking to extend a 1-point lead. Hyder has the ball outside against Bing. He is severely mismatched by the defensive Bing, and he's called for the offensive foul. First foul on Hyder. And Detroit has the basketball, and they can regain the lead on this possession. Dave Bing now works against Foster. Perimeter jump shot, no good. Rebound Otto Moore. Otto Moore with the putback attempt. He lays it off the glass, and it's good. Pistons once again take the lead. And here comes Flynn Robinson, the trigger man. He nails this one for his fourth point, and the Royals are back out on top. Detroit's going to look down to the post where Otto Moore is matched up against Lacey. Lacey's got the 2 fouls, so he has to back off, and Moore lays it up and good. Short jump shot for his 4th point of the night. Flynn Robinson is the man for Cincinnati on this possession. Top of the key, his drive shot blocked by Moore, rebounded by Steve Mix, and the Pistons bring it back with a chance to extend the lead. They've got Hewitt available on the low post. Hewitt dribbles inside, works against Paulk. Turnaround jump shot off the backboard, no good. Rebound Foster. He gets it out, and it's a 3-on-1 fast break for the Royals. Royals to Lacey. Lacey to Hyder all alone, lays it up and good. Nice 3-man break for the Royals, just the way they practice it. And it is now a 1-point lead for the Royals again. Otto Moore on the low block, working against Paulk. Strong move to the basket is good, as the Pistons continue to pour in the points in the paint. 24 of their 38 have come from inside. Charlie Paulk wants the basketball on the low post for the Royals. He sells the pump fake. Hangs up. One-hander is no good, but the foul is on Otto Moore. That is his first and the first team foul here in the second period for the Royals. Charlie Paulk will shoot 2 free throws. 60%, not a reliable free throw shooter, but he does get the first one to go. And the second shot is no good. And Otto Moore tracks down the rebound for the Pistons as we are now tied. Detroit setting it up. Comives is going to call his own number. Comives dishes to Hewitt, back out to Comives outside. The jump shot is no good. Rebound Charlie Paulk. And here come the Royals. Flynn Robinson is their trigger man. He puts up the 15-footer, no good. Rebound Bing. Back come the Pistons. They're going to look inside to Hewitt. Hewitt from the low post lays it up and good. Bill Hewitt gives the Pistons a 2-point lead, and that is, believe it or not, their biggest lead of the night. Flynn Robinson is relentless. His jump shot again is no good, but this time he's fine. He knocks down the first shot here. And Detroit brings back their frontline guys, Dischinger, Lanier, Mueller, and Jimmy Walker back into the game. Second shot for Robinson is good. And he is now 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Hasn't hit a field goal yet, but he has earned several opportunities to convert from the free throw line, and he has made good on every one of them. Tie game now. Pistons setting up the offense. They're going to look inside to Dischinger. His pump fake, shot no good, but he draws the contact from Paulk, and that is number 3 on Paulk. Dischinger will shoot a pair from the free throw line. 76% free throw shooter on the regular season. 84% in this replay, and he converts the first. Terry Dischinger must have been very disappointed when his Purdue Boilermakers came up just short of a Final Four appearance. And back come the Cincinnati starters, Archibald, Van Leer, Van Arsdale, Johnny Green. So we've got both the starting units in as the Pistons hold a 1-point lead, and Dischinger makes it 2. Cincinnati basketball. And they are going to work the ball for a shot. Archibald is going to force one up, no good. Well defended on that play by Dave Bing. And Bing is going to lead the fast break the other way for the Pistons. Bing gets it out to Mueller. Mueller to Dischinger, back to Walker for the pull-up shot, no good. Archibald takes the rebound. And the Royals push the pace, but they don't have the numbers. So Norm Van Leer is going to pull it back out and set up the offense. They get it down low to Johnny Green. Green inside with the short jump shot, good. He had a rest, and he came back in and picked up right where he left off, hitting another shot for his 16th point of the night to lead all scorers. Detroit looks for some offense. They're going to look to Bing. Bing on the perimeter drives, collides with Archibald. His little finger roll won't fall, but Archibald got him on the hand as Bing stepped around on his way to the basket. And it will be Dave Bing for 2 shots in an effort to give the Pistons the lead once again. Bing misses the first. Unusual for a 79% free throw shooter. And Bing's second shot is good. And it's a 1-point lead for Detroit. Here come the Royals back on offense. They are going to look down low to Sam Lacey working against Lanier. There's a whistle, and we've got double fouls on the play. Green and Lanier got tangled up. That's going to be the first on Green and the second on Lanier. And it looks like the Royals are going to retain possession of the basketball. Green to inbound for the Royals. He's going to look inside to Tom Van Arsdale. Open on the low block. Short jump shot. Around and out. Rebound by Lanier. Detroit comes back with the lead and a chance to extend it. And they're going to pound it into Lanier once again. Working against Lacey. Around and out. But Green got him on the help side defense, and that's 2 on Green. So the foul trouble just keeps getting worse for Cincinnati as Lanier heads to the free throw line. Physically dominant night here, and Lanier gets the free throw to go for his 13th point. And he looks for number 14 and converts it. 7:32 to go, second quarter. Pistons now with a 3-point lead as Cincinnati comes back on offense. Once again, they're going to look to Van Arsdale working down low against Mueller. And he gets the turnaround jumper for his 8th point. Give the assist to Nate Archibald on the play. Detroit coming back on offense. They have one option, and it's Lanier, and it's a good option. Lanier gets the ball inside. Short jump shot blocked by Lacey. Rebound, Jimmy Walker. Walker passes it back out as the Pistons still have 12 seconds to shoot. Mueller inside on the low block against the smaller Van Arsdale. Pump fake, short jump shot, good. 4 points for Erwin Mueller, and the Pistons now have their biggest lead of the game at 3 points with 7 minutes to go in the second. Sam Lacey has a mismatch against Jimmy Walker down low. His jump shot's no good. Tipped around by Van Arsdale. Lacey gets his own rebound. Lacey's putback attempt is good. That is his first basket of the game. And the Royals are back to within 1. Very tight game, as we would have expected here in the second quarter. Bob Lanier, still the dominant force down low, and he nails another one. 16 now for Lanier. Cincinnati comes back, working the ball around the perimeter. They get it to Van Leer, working against Jimmy Walker. Van Leer takes it to the rim. Tosses it out to Green on the baseline. His jump shot is no good. Van Leer pulls down the rebound, but they're going to get Johnny Green on the loose ball foul, and that is his 3rd. Terry Dischinger will shoot 1 for the Pistons, as Cincinnati can ill afford to have another of their bigs get into foul trouble, but that is exactly what happened on that last trip down the court. 4-point lead now for Detroit as Dischinger converts the free throw. And it's Tom Van Arsdale setting up the offense for Cincinnati. He's going to push it out to Van Leer. Van Leer is the go-to guy. His short jump shot won't go down, defended by Walker. And here comes Walker leading the fast break with Lanier against Charlie Paulk. Walker pushes the action, but double dribbles on the play. And that is another turnover for Detroit. Detroit with Green and Lacey now working down low. Both of them in precarious foul trouble. It will be the Royals setting up the offense. And it's going to be Van Leer. Van Leer kicks the ball out of bounds, and another turnover charge to the Royals. Dave Bing goes to the bench for Detroit. So it will be Jimmy Walker and Steve Mix in the backcourt for the Pistons as they set up under 6 now to play in the second quarter, and the Pistons lead by 4. They work it inside to Lanier, working against Green. Green with the foul trouble. Lanier's short jump shot is good. 18 now for Lanier, who is continuing his dominance inside against the foul-plagued Cincinnati Royal defense. Royals working on the other end. Van Leer's going to put it on the floor against Steve Mix. He shows and goes, lays it up and good. Nice take by Van Leer for his 7th point of the night. Royals keeping it close. Pistons work it to Dischinger down low. His short jump shot is good. And it is now a 6-point lead for the Pistons as they have really established the momentum in the second period. Cincinnati struggling to foul, working against Nate Archibald. He's going to call his own number. Walker from the perimeter drives, barrels into Archibald. His layup is no good, but they're going to call Archibald for the foul, and Jimmy Walker goes to the free throw line. Pistons now in the bonus, so Walker will get 3 to make 2. And he is an 83% free throw shooter. He hits the first. And Walker delivers on the second for his 8th point of the night, and the Pistons now lead by 8. Quite the reversal of fortune for Detroit here in the second period, after trailing most of the first quarter. Cincinnati's going to look inside to Johnny Green. He's got Walker on his hip on the mismatch, but Walker knocks it out of bounds, and Cincinnati will reset the offense with 11 to go now on the shot clock. Nip and tuck goes this game, says our Red Sox fan. Johnny Green to inbound. Archibald is covered very tightly by Bing. He can't do anything with it. He ships it over to Van Leer. Van Leer from the outside drives, shifts to the left hand and gets the layup to go for his 9th point of the night. Van Leer is a very reliable assist man, but that time he took charge of the action on his own, went to the left hand and laid that up and good. Detroit going back down low to Lanier. Dierking was late getting there on defense, and Lanier converts for his 20th point of the night. What a offensive game we're seeing from both teams. 58-50, still 4 minutes to go in the second period. Cincinnati still at 50%, Detroit at 54% from the field. So we are seeing a dandy here tonight, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. As Cincinnati sets up the offense, they look around the perimeter. They get it to Van Leer. Van Leer is once again going to take charge, floats to the basket, collides with Walker. His layup is no good, but Walker is called for the foul, and Van Leer will go to the free throw line. He is looking to make free throw number 40 in this consecutive free throw streak. And it spins out. Oh my goodness, that's the end of the 39 straight streak for Van Leer, and it's all the fault of the announcer who jinxed him. He's going to try and start a new streak now, and he gets it to go. His 10th point of the night, and the Royals now trail by 7 as Detroit sets the offense. They've got some trouble here on the defense for Cincinnati as there are switches left and right. It's going to be Mueller inside working against Van Arsdale on the low block. His ball fake, short jump shot up and good. Pistons rolling on all cylinders here in the second quarter as they have already hit the 60-point mark with just under 4 minutes to play in the second. Cincinnati still struggling to find themselves. Archibald shoots another jump shot, no good. Dierking comes off with the offensive glass. His putback attempt rolls off, rebounded by Archibald, and he kicks it back out to reset the offense. Royals will have a fresh 24. Van Leer is the open man working against Jimmy Walker. His mid-range jump shot, he buries it. And that is 12 for Van Leer. Jimmy Walker's going to come right back. He drives on Dierking, lays it up and good. And that is 10 for Jimmy Walker. Van Leer again, working against Walker. He gets it back to Archibald. Archibald breaks the ankles of Howie Comives and lays it up and good. As Billy Packer would say, there's lingerie on the deck as Comives goes down and Archibald steers clear for the easy layup. It's now a 7-point lead for the Pistons. Under 3 minutes to play in the second. And it is Bob Lanier on the low block who's going to get the pass working against Dierking. Lanier's short shot rattles out, no good. Lanier wanted the call, didn't get it. As Dierking comes away with the rebound and Cincinnati brings the ball back the other way. Archibald working the perimeter, finds Dierking inside. He's got a mismatch against Howie Comives on the switch. But Comives manages to knock it away and steal it. He picked the pocket of Connie Dierking, and the Pistons have the 3-on-1 break with Comives at the controls. And Comives is stripped by Nate Archibald. These 2 point guards both ripped one another on that exchange. And Cincinnati once again is in control of the basketball. Archibald still working against Comives as this rivalry heats up. Archibald drives and he's ripped by Comives. Comives leading a 4-on-2 break. It is a jailbreak for Detroit. They get it to Lanier, whose jump shot is no good, and Archibald gets the rebound. It's looking like a schoolyard game at recess as both teams are stealing the ball and missing shots over the last minute or so of action. Cincinnati's going to get it to Van Leer. Van Leer drives, and he is called for the charge. More schoolyard nonsense as we've seen steals and we've seen charges. Now as Johnny Green gets some much needed rest and Lacey and Polk will now come in for Cincinnati. Bing back into the game for Detroit along with Otto Moore. Detroit sets the offense, leading by 7. Under 2 minutes now to go in the first half. Mueller is the open man against Van Arsdale, but Van Arsdale has made up on the defense. So Mueller swings it back to Howie Comives, and Comives nails it for his first points of the game to put the Pistons up by 9. Biggest lead of the game now for Detroit. Van Arsdale inside is the open man on the low block against Mueller. His jump shot is in and out, but Archibald tips the offensive rebound back to himself, and he will set up the action once again at the top of the key. They're going to look inside to Charlie Polk. They can't find Polk. Archibald takes the shot himself. It's no good. Dishinger rebounds. Outlet to Comives, and once again the Pistons will run. Can they get a double-digit lead? Dishinger to Bing. Bing to Comives. Comives up and good. That's 4 in a row for Comives, and the Pistons have a double-digit lead heading into the final minute of play in the second period. It's been a struggle for Cincinnati on offense since Johnny Green has gone to the bench with foul trouble. They look inside to Polk. Polk inside, backs it on Dishinger, turns and shoots and gets it to go. 7 for Polk as we head into the final minute of play. And here come the Pistons. Working in on offense, they've got Mueller on the low block in a mismatch against Nate Archibald. He kicks it back out to Bing. Bing's jump shot is no good, and the ball goes out of bounds to Cincinnati. Cincinnati now 40 seconds to play, trailing by 9. What are they going to do? They look to the offense. Archibald covered closely by Comives. He sets and fires and gets it to go. Comives was in his face, but Archibald just nailed it for his 6th point of the game. 30 seconds to go. Jimmy Walker on the attack against Van Arsdale. And Van Arsdale reaches in. And Walker will go to the line for a pair of free throws as the Pistons are in the bonus. It is a 66-59 game. Walker misses the first free throw. And the second shot is up. And good. 8-point lead now for the Pistons as the Royals set up for the final shot of the first half. They get it to Van Arsdale inside. His one-handed runner is good. All right, it is a 6-point game at the half. As we look at the box score, both teams shooting very well. 51% for Cincinnati, 55% for Detroit. Detroit put up 37 points in that second period. And it was a balanced attack as Lanier put in 8, Otto Moore with 6, Walker and Dischinger 5 apiece. They had 8 different guys score in that 37-point second period. Van Leer with 7 in the second for Cincinnati. But the Royals now trail by 6 as we head into the second half. Cincinnati controls the jump. They set it up on offense. They've got Lacey down low working against Lanier. Lacey with the drop step, but his shot is swatted away by Lanier. Lacey grabs the rebound. His putback attempt is no good. Rebound Erwin Mueller. Lanier dominating the game on both ends of the court as he stopped Lacey in his tracks on 2 attempts to score from the low post. Detroit coming back with Bing. Jump shot from the key, no good. It's tipped out of bounds, and it will be Cincinnati basketball. Royals setting the offense. Johnny Green has the matchup against Dischinger, but he's too far from the basket, so he passes it out to the top, where they find Van Arsdale outside. He's got nothing. He's going to dump it down to Lacey in the low block. Lacey's short jump shot is no good, but Van Leer grabs the rebound for the Royals and passes it back out to reset the offense. Cincinnati with a new 24-second clock. Van Arsdale had double digits in the first half. He's got an opportunity on the low post. He backs in but traveled. That's now 11 turnovers for Cincinnati to only 6 for Detroit on the game. Detroit will set up the action. They're going to look inside once again to Lanier. He scored 20 in the first half. He misses his first attempt here in the second half, and Johnny Green grabs the rebound. They need more out of Green to get back into the game. He's been their best player so far for the Royals. They look to Archibald. Archibald dumps it down to Green, working against Dischinger on the low block. He loses the ball, gets it back. He fakes. He shoots. He scores. Nice move inside by Johnny Green. He's got 18. The lead is back down to 4 for Cincinnati. What's Detroit going to do? They get it into Dischinger. He kicks it back out to Comives. Comives' jump shot no good. Lanier gets the offensive glass. His short jump shot won't go, and Nate Archibald sneaks out of there with his 5th rebound of the game for Tiny Archibald. They work it around. They get it to Lacey down low. He's got a mismatch against Comives, but Bing reached in and stole the ball for Detroit. Pistons work it back into Dischinger down low. Dischinger inside. His fall-away shot goes down. 7 for Dischinger. The lead for Detroit is 6. Cincinnati's going to work it back down low to Johnny Green. He was their best player in the first half. His short jump shot won't go this time, but he is hammered on the play by Mueller. And Green will go to the line for 2 shots. Johnny Green steps to the charity stripe. His first shot is good, and that is 19 for Johnny Green. Can he make it 20? It won't go down, and Lacey comes away with the offensive glass for Detroit. His 10-foot follow-up is no good. Van Arsdale tips it out. Can he convert? He's got a good look inside, but his shot's around the rim and out, tipped away by Green, rebounded by Van Leer. And once again, the Royals have another shot at it. They've missed their first 4 attempts, but they've got another shot at it, and now Bing just grabbed Van Leer. In all that scramble, the personal foul is called on Bing. It's a loose ball foul, so it will be just 1 shot for Van Leer. And he gets it to go. 13 now for Van Leer. The lead for the Pistons is 4 as Detroit comes back on offense. They look to Bing. Bing on the perimeter. Pick and roll with Lanier. Bing puts it up off the side of the rim, no good. Another rebound for Tiny Archibald, and that is 6 for the little point guard. Cincinnati gets it down low to Lacey. He rises up. It's swatted away again by Lanier. Yippee-ki-yay, my friend, says Bob Lanier as he swats that one. Lacey grabs the offensive board. He lays it up softly. It spins out. Van Arsdale with the board. Cincinnati pounding the offensive glass here in the third quarter. Van Arsdale's putback attempt goes in, and he is fouled by Lanier. Van Arsdale will attempt to make it a three-point play and bring Cincinnati back to within 1 point, as the Royals have just dominated the offensive glass here in the third period. The free throw for Van Arsdale is good, and it is 69-68 Pistons as Detroit sets the offense with just over 9 to play here in the third period. Howie Comives running the point. Calls his own number. Steps around Van Arsdale. Short jump shot no good. Lanier comes away with the offensive rebound. Battling Johnny Green. Lanier's short jump shot is no good, but he is fouled by Van Arsdale. And it will be Lanier back to the free throw line for a couple of more attempts. And he connects on the first. Second attempt by Lanier is good. 22 now for Lanier. Pistons leading by 3. Here comes Cincinnati. They're going to look inside to Johnny Green. He backs in. He shoots a short jump shot, all net. 21 now for Green as the battle between Green and Lanier continues. Lanier has 1 more point than Green. The Pistons have 1 more point than the Royals. Detroit will set the offense, and this time they're going to look outside to Bing. His jump shot is good, but it's being waved off. Norm Van Leer is being called for the foul, and that foul took place on the floor. So it will be just a one-shot free throw for Bing rather than the 2-point basket. Bing, an 80% free throw shooter on the year, and he connects to make it a 2-point lead for the Pistons. Cincinnati comes back. They're going to look inside once again to Johnny Green. He's got Mueller on the mismatch. He dribbles, but Comives reached in and picked his pocket. Another steal for Comives. The Pistons come back on offense. They get it to Bing. Bing outside. Jump shot from the top of the key is no good. Lanier grabs the offensive board. Lanier's put-back attempt, pump fake, off the backboard, no good. Comives swipes the rebound, and Comives passes it back out for the Pistons. They get it back over to Bing. 8 minutes to play, third quarter. Bing down to Lanier down low. Lanier misses again, and this time Van Leer comes away with the rebound for Cincinnati. Cincinnati works the perimeter. They look inside to Johnny Green down low. Green posts up, working against Dischinger. Rises up, shot no good. Rebound Dave Bing. Royals had a chance to tie, couldn't convert. Detroit has the ball again, and they look down inside to Lanier. Guarded by Lacey. Lanier's short jump shot bounces around and comes out. Van Arsdale with the rebound for Cincinnati. And the Royals come back on the attack. Archibald working the pick and roll with Lacey. And Lacey gets the basket. Lacey got loose. He got the basket, and he was fouled on the play by Bob Lanier. And that is 4 on Lanier. My goodness, the Pistons can't afford to lose Lanier, but he is going to go to the bench with foul trouble. 4 fouls to go with those 22 points. And into the game for the very first time is Terry Driscoll, the rookie out of Boston College, replacing Lanier, who goes to the bench with the foul trouble. And it will be Sam Lacey at the free throw line looking to convert a 3-point play and put Cincinnati back on top. Lacey's free throw is good. That's 5 for Sam Lacey, and the Royals now have the lead. 7 minutes to play, third quarter. Comives once again calls his own number. Dribbling into the front court. Comes off the pick from Dischinger, and he lays it up and good. Collision with Archibald on the play. There was no foul called, but Comives converts the hoop. He's got 6, and the Pistons are back on top. Cincinnati works the perimeter. They get it to Van Leer working against Jimmy Walker. Van Leer fakes. He drives, gets it into Lacey inside, and Lacey converts the shot with the assist to Van Leer, and that is 5 assists for Van Leer to go with 5 rebounds and 13 points. Lanier quietly putting together a very solid performance here tonight. Pistons back on offense. Dischinger steps out onto the baseline. Can't get the shot off. He looks to Jimmy Walker on the perimeter, working against Van Leer. Walker takes it to the rim. Dumps it off to Driscoll, but it's stolen away by Archibald. That is his 4th steal on the night. Archibald brings it up. Van Leer on the outside. Gets it down to Lacey in the low block. Lacey can't get his shot to fall. Johnny Green gets the offensive board. His short jump shot circles the rim and out. Archibald gets the rebound but is called for the loose ball foul on the play. That is number 3 on Archibald, and it will be Terry Dischinger with 1 shot for Detroit, and he can tie the game if he connects on this one. Shot by Dischinger is good, and that's 8 for Dischinger. We're tied at 75. 6 minutes to play now, 3rd quarter. Cincinnati on offense. Archibald looks inside to Lacey. Lacey can't get that one to go. He's missed 7 straight. Erwin Mueller grabs the rebound for the Pistons. Detroit now with Walker on the perimeter, working against Van Leer. Walker's going to take it to the hole, and Walker is going to charge. How Red Sox fan in the chat room. Great game so far. Thank you, Al. It is a great game. I'm enjoying this. It's a very close one. Tied in the middle of the 3rd quarter. Both teams still shooting the ball well. And the percentages have come down to 46, but that's still a pretty solid night. And for each team to have 75 points midway through the 3rd quarter is some impressive offense indeed. Royals basketball, tie game. They are going to look to Van Arsdale working now against Steve Mix. Van Arsdale posting up down low. Turnaround jump shot won't go. Lacey gets the rebound, but he is called for the foul over the back. And it will be Terry Driscoll with 1 shot for the Pistons. Now 4 team fouls on each team here in the 3rd period. Driscoll lines up the free throw, and it falls off the rim. Lacey on the rebound. Cincinnati coming back. Working the offense. Johnny Green too far out to get a shot. He looks to Van Arsdale. They get it down to Lacey on the low post. His short jump shot falls off. Rebound Steve Mix. Lacey has struggled here in the 3rd quarter. And it's going to be Comives calling his own number again for Detroit. Comives outside mid-range jump shot won't go. Steve Mix grabs the offensive board. Can Mix get the putback to go? No, it's swatted away by Green and stolen. Nice defense on the inside by Johnny Green. Cincinnati basketball. Archibald looks down low to Johnny Green. Green on the dribble inside, unloads at point-blank range, no good. But the foul is called on Dischinger on the play, and Johnny Green will go to the line. He will shoot 2 on the shooting foul, and that is 5 on the Pistons this quarter, so the Royals will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Green only a 61% shooter, but he gets the first one to go, and he now has 22. Can he connect on the second? Yes. 23 points now for Green. He leads all scorers. Detroit setting the offense. They look to Dischinger down low. He's got a mismatch against Van Arsdale. Pass goes back out to Bing. Bad pass, threw it away. Cincinnati ball. And we have got some changes as Johnny Green will take a seat for Cincinnati. And Kid Dynamite Jimmy Walker comes in for Detroit to replace Dave Bing. 4:16 to play, 3rd quarter. Cincinnati has the basketball and a 2-point lead. Archibald sets the offense. Gets it over to Van Leer. Van Leer on the wing, drives, lays it up and good. 15 now for Van Leer on a very nice baseline drive. Jimmy Walker coming back for Detroit. His jump shot is good. And both sides are heating up once again. Van Arsdale has Jimmy Walker pinned on the low post. He gets it to Polk. Polk inside connects on the short jump shot, and he's got 9 points now. Royals by 4. 3.5 to play. Detroit looking for some offense. They're going to look again at Jimmy Walker. Working against Van Leer, Walker's going to put it on the floor. He fakes, he drives the lane, and Van Leer stole it. 3-on-3 break now for the Royals, led by Tiny Archibald. They're going to push it, and Van Leer takes it up, and it's stolen away by Dischinger. Now the Pistons have numbers going the other way. It's 4-on-2 with Comives at the helm. Gets it to Dischinger. Dischinger over to Walker. Walker's shot is no good, but he is fouled on the play by Charlie Paulk, and that is number 4 on Charlie Paulk. Walker will go to the free throw line. He's 7 of 8 today. And with that free throw, he is 8 of 9. And Flynn Robinson comes in, and Connie Dierking comes in for Cincinnati. They're going to leave Paulk in the game with the 4 fouls, as Cincinnati has foul trouble up and down the lineup. Jimmy Walker, an 83% shooter, gets the second one to go. He has 15, and the lead for Cincinnati now is 2. Dierking inside has Howie Comives trapped on the low block. Turnaround jump shot swatted away by Dischinger. Rebound Comives, and here come the Pistons with a chance to tie the game once again. Comives calls his own number. Working against Flynn Robinson. His perimeter jump shot is no good. Out of bounds, Cincinnati basketball. Bing back into the game for Detroit. Johnny Green back in for Cincinnati. Cincinnati on offense. Leading by 2. Under 3 minutes to play now, third quarter. Nobody open the first time around. They look to Flynn Robinson, the trigger man, working against Dave Bing. Robinson drives. Robinson blows the layup. Tipped by Green. Green gets the rebound. Green's putback attempt is up, and it falls off the rim. Robinson pulls it away, and Robinson is going to pass it back out on top. Once again, multiple shot opportunities inside for Cincinnati, as they look now at their third opportunity to score on this possession. And they're going to give it down to Van Arsdale inside. Van Arsdale's jump shot hangs on the rim, falls out, rebound Hewitt. Detroit back on offense. 2.5 minutes to play. Dave Bing working against Flynn Robinson. Let's see what Bing can do. He gets it out to Walker. Back to Bing. Bing on the perimeter. Drives to the basket, and Van Leer swats it away. Rebound Van Arsdale, and here come the Royals. 3-on-2. Fast breaking the other way. Van Arsdale on the break. Gets it to Green all by himself under the basket, and Green puts it home. 25 for Johnny Green, and the Royals now lead by 4. Jimmy Walker, Kid Dynamite, working for the Pistons. Foul line extended. Barrels into Van Leer. Walker's layup is no good. Swatted away by Dierking. Rebound Flynn Robinson. Here comes the Cincinnati squad on the fast break. It's 4-on-1. Van Arsdale pull-up jumper is blocked by Mix, rebounded by Van Leer, and passed it back out. Good transition defense by Steve Mix on that play. As Walker went down, Cincinnati got numbers, but good defense by Mix prevented the Royals from converting that, and the Royals have to set the offense now. 21 on the shot clock, 1:48 to go in the third quarter, as the Royals set up with a 4-point lead. Flynn Robinson, the trigger man, as I like to call him, drives to the basket, collides with Bing. No call on the play as Robinson gets the layup to go. 8 for Robinson. The Royals lead by 6. Back and forth we go in this contest. Dave Bing working against Robinson. Bing drives. He lays it up no good. Rebounded by Connie Dierking. Back comes Cincinnati. They're going to look inside to Dierking after that rebound. Dierking inside, covered by Driscoll, and Dierking is called for the offensive foul. Dierking tried to dribble around Driscoll, but he hooked him. And they get the whistle and the foul on Dierking. Yet another member of the Royals in foul trouble. 4 on Paulk, 3 apiece on Dierking, Van Arsdale, Van Leer, Archibald, Green, and Lacey. We've got 6 different Pistons players with 6 different Royals players with 3 fouls. As it's going to be a dicey situation in the fourth quarter with all of these guys facing foul trouble, but the Royals are clinging to a 6-point lead as Detroit comes back on offense. Pistons are going to look once again to Jimmy Walker. Fred Foster now into the game for Cincinnati on the defense. Walker's short jump shot is blocked away by Hyder, grabbed by Dierking. It's a 2-on-2 break. Robinson and Foster for the Royals. Robinson pushes it against Bing. Robinson's finger rolls it up and lays it in. That's 10 now, double figures for Robinson as the Royals extend to an 8-point lead. Back and forth we go. This is the Royals' biggest lead of the night. 87-79, last minute of play, third period. Dave Bing working against Robinson. Outside, drives to the basket, lays it up and good. With Lanier out of the game, the lane was open and Bing took advantage. 49 seconds to play now in the third as the Royals come back on the offense. They're going to look inside to Charlie Paulk, working against Hewitt. Left-handed runner is good. That's 11 for Paul as Cincinnati now has 5 players in double figures and an 8-point lead. Dave Bing now sets the offense for the Pistons. It's knocked away. Detroit retains possession, 10 on the shot clock. They're going to look to Bing once again against Robinson. Bing drives to the basket. Short layup is no good. Rebound Hyder. It's a 2-on-2 break once again for the Royals. They've got Van Leer and Robinson running the floor. Van Leer's pull-up jump shot goes. And the Royals now have a 10-point lead. As the Pistons bring the ball back and they have the final shot opportunity of the period. Bing outside. Gets it to Hewitt. Paulk slaps it away and the time expires. Amish Elvis is here in the chat room. Yes, indeed. Players did get 6 fouls in this era. So let's take a look at the box score here at the end of 3 quarters. And this time Detroit went from a 37-point second quarter to just a 14-point third quarter. That foul trouble by Lanier made all the difference as he sat out most of the period. And Lanier only scored 2 points that period. And Johnny Green took control with 9 of Cincinnati's 30. 5 for Van Leer, 5 for Lacey in the period. As Cincinnati romped to a 30-14 advantage in the third to take a 10-point lead as we head into the final period. Detroit's field goal percentage has fallen off. They're down to 43% now. Cincinnati still at a respectable 47%. All right, we head to the fourth. And Detroit will control the jump and set the offense, trying to cut into this 10-point lead. Otto Moore is in the game now on the low post. It's Jimmy Walker from the shooting guard position who is going to take control on this possession. He drives. He's cut off by Dierking. His shot is no good. Elbows are flying everywhere. Hewlett comes out with the rebound. But there is a loose ball foul called on Hyder. His second of the game. First foul for the Royals in the quarter. And it will be Otto Moore with 1 shot at the free throw line. Only a 55% shooter. So it's pretty much a coin toss, and Moore missed it. And Hyder with the rebound. Cincinnati basketball. Robinson looks to Van Leer on the perimeter. Working against Jimmy Walker. Van Leer's going to look down low to Paulk on the low block. Great give to Paulk. The ball's loose. Paulk gets it back. His layup is no good, but he is fouled on the play by Comives. 2 on Comives as Charlie Paulk goes to the line to shoot 2. First shot is no good. Only a 60% free throw shooter is Paulk. And the second shot is good. 12 points for Charlie Paulk now, and the Royals lead by 11. Can the Pistons pull it together and get back into the game? They're going to look inside to Otto Moore. Moore in the paint. Jump shot no good. Jimmy Walker steals the offensive rebound and sends it back out. Detroit works the ball around. They look inside once again to Moore. Moore with the shot against Dierking. Around the cylinder, falls out. Moore gets his own rebound. Can he get the third try to go? No good. Who will grab the rebound? Charlie Paulk. 3 shots at it for Otto Moore. He missed every time. And Cincinnati has the basketball with a chance to extend the lead. Flynn Robinson, the trigger man, brings it up. Working the offense in no hurry. Hyder has the ball outside working against Mix. They're going to toss it back out to Flynn Robinson out on top. Whistle on the play. We've got an injury on the play. Otto Moore looks like he may have taken a finger to the eye. But he is leaving the game, should be back. But that's going to bring Bob Lanier back into the game for Detroit, and that is exactly what the Pistons need. Over on the bench, they're thinking, why didn't somebody poke Otto Moore in the eye sooner so we could get Lanier back into the ball game? Hyder to inbound for Cincinnati, and they are going to look to Norm Van Leer. Van Leer dribbles outside. He buries the jump shot, and he's fouled by Jimmy Walker. Basket for Van Leer, and he has 1 free throw in an effort to convert the three-point play. And Van Leer hits it. That's 20 now for Van Leer. Hello, Bobby Catalano. Nice to see you in the chat room. It's Catalano. Catalano was an outfielder for the Detroit Tigers in the 80s and 90s. Catalano is the lovely lady who has graced us with her presence in the chat room tonight, and we enjoy seeing you here. You too, Amish Elvis. All right, Royals up by 14. Pistons trying to regain the momentum and get back into the ball game. Steve Mix has the opening down low. Working against Hyder. His turnaround jump shot falls off the rim. Rebound by Dierking. Cincinnati has come into Cobo Arena and taken charge of this game. They get it to Robinson on the wing. It's knocked out of bounds. Cincinnati basketball. 14 on the shot clock. It will be Hyder to inbound. He's going to look to Van Leer. Van Leer works against Jimmy Walker. Cincinnati on an 8-0 run. Van Leer lays it up softly, but it's swatted away by Lanier. And Comives comes out with the rebound for Detroit. Comives dribbles it into the front court. Detroit sets the offense. It's going to be Comives working against Flynn Robinson. Perimeter, the dish to Lanier is an ill-advised pass. Flynn Robinson stole it, as that one was telegraphed by Comives, and Flynn Robinson took advantage. Robinson brings the ball up, known more as an offensive threat than a defender, but he made a nice defensive play that time. Robinson's going to call his own number against Comives. And oh my goodness, Robinson rises up and fires an air ball, and the fans here at the Cobo Arena let him know about it. And Robinson just shrugs his shoulders and points at the scoreboard. So Cincinnati continues to lead by 14 in spite of the air ball. Under 10 minutes to play now in the basketball game as Detroit attempts to launch a comeback. They got a defensive stop on that last possession. They're going to need more defense to spark a run and get back into the game. Comives looks to pass. He gets it inside to Lanier. Lanier shoots against Dierking. His jump shot is good. They need Lanier to get it going as he ends the 8-0 run by Cincinnati with his 24th point of the night. The lead is 12 as they look inside to Dierking. Dierking working against Lanier. Lanier in the foul trouble. And Dierking takes advantage. His first basket of the night. And Cincinnati back out on top by 14. Royals content to trade baskets. Detroit's going to need to pick up the defense. Lanier inside. They can't find him. Comives attacks the rim to Walker against Walker. Walker drives and loses it out of bounds. Our Red Sox fan says, "Come on, Pistons." As Bing returns to the game for Detroit. Bing and Lanier, their two best players, are now in the ball game. And the Royals have Van Leer leading their squad with 20 points. Johnny Green on the bench taking a rest with 25 and 10 already in this game. Robinson, the trigger man, gets it over to Van Leer working against Jimmy Walker. Van Leer on the drive. Stolen by Lanier. Lanier got in among the tall timber, and he lost it to Lanier. Detroit gets the stop on defense. Let's see if they can convert at the other end. Working the perimeter. They get it to Bing, working against Robinson. Bing's going to put it on the floor. He comes off the pick by Mix, whistle on the play, and there is a foul on Robinson, and he fouled Mix. Robinson tried to fight through that pick, but he caught Mix with a forearm, and it will be Mix headed to the free throw line for one shot. Both teams with 2 fouls now in the period. 8.5 minutes to play. Mix lines up the free throw, and he converts it for his first point of the night. Royals with a 13-point lead and the basketball. They look inside to Lacey, working against Bob Lanier. Pump fake, shot is good. Nice play by Lacey to extend the lead to 15. Biggest lead of the night for Cincinnati. Detroit push it down into Lanier. Lanier back to Bing, and Bing nails the perimeter jump shot. 16 for Bing. Detroit coming back. They're going to look inside as the Royals look to Johnny Green. Green lays that one up and good. Royals trading baskets. They've now hit the century mark with just under 8 minutes to play in the fourth. Cincinnati leading by 15. Bing trapped down low. Has to kick it back out to Walker. Working against Van Leer. Walker's going to put it on the floor. Lays it up aggressively. Gets it off the backboard and good. 17 for Walker. But the Pistons need to pick it up on the defensive end. Cincinnati looks down low to Lacey. His turnaround jumper is good. The Royals continue to pound it inside and continue to convert those baskets. Up to 49% field goal shooting on the night and continuing to enjoy that 15-point lead. The clock is no friend of the Pistons at this point. Bing working outside against Lacey on a mismatch. Gets the ball to Mix, back out to Bing. Bing's jump shot no good, rebound Lacey. Cincinnati's going to work it down low to Johnny Green. His baseline jump shot is good. That's 29 for Johnny Green as the Royals continue to extend their lead. And with every basket and every minute that goes off the clock, the Cobo Arena crowd becomes more subdued. Dave Bing taking control of the offense. His jump shot is no good. He's missed 8 straight. Lacey on the rebound. It's Archibald and Green running the break, but they're going to pull it back and run some clock. Under 7 to play. As Archibald brings it slowly into the front court. Gets it over to Van Leer. Van Leer looks to set the offense. 14 on the shot clock. Cincinnati continues to work the ball around the perimeter. Archibald comes off a pick, goes to the basket. Foul line extended. He's cut off by Lanier. Short jump shot, no good. Rebound Hewitt. Detroit got the stop they needed that time. But with just 6.5 minutes to play, the Pistons are going to need to really lock down the Royals at the offensive end. Jimmy Walker. Outside. Jump shot too strong. Hard off the rim. Tapped in by Hewitt. Detroit gets a basket from Hewitt. And the lead is back to 15. But they need to continue to work hard on the defensive end as Archibald looks to drive against Bing. His layup is off the glass and good. Assist to Van Leer. And Cincinnati just keeps putting them in the hoop. And with a 17-point lead, the Pistons' time is running out. Dave Bing on the switch against Lacey. Outside. Jump shot is good. Detroit now needs to do some work on the defensive end. As the Pistons are in no hurry, as the Royals are in no hurry. They've got it to Green on the baseline. Working against Hewitt. He passes it back out on top. He gets it back, and his deep jump shot is good. Everything has fallen for the Royals tonight. Green steps away from the basket and delivers his 31st point of the night with the assist from Archibald. The lead is now 17, under 6 minutes to play. Some of the Detroit fans are getting a little antsy and starting to look to the exits as Jimmy Walker works against Van Leer. Walker drives, runs into Green. Shot is up no good, but they whistle the foul on Green on the play. And Jimmy Walker will go to the line to shoot 2. 9 out of 10 already on the night from the free throw line. And he can't get the first one to go. And that hurts because the Pistons need every point they can get. Second shot for Walker is good. 18 now for Jimmy Walker. But the Royals still enjoy a 17-point lead with the basketball. Under 5.5 to play. Van Leer works against Jimmy Walker. Back to Robinson. Van Leer takes it to the hoop, and he's called for the offensive foul. That's 4 on Van Leer. As Detroit takes over the basketball. They need points, and they need them in bunches. They look inside to Lanier. Lanier with the short jump shot, no good, but he is fouled by Hyder. Lanier will go to the line with a chance to cut into the lead with the clock standing still at 5:04. Lanier hits the first free throw. And Lanier converts on the second. He's got 26, but the Pistons are still in a deep, deep hole. As Cincinnati sets the offense. Flynn Robinson passes up a shot opportunity. How often do you see that? He's got Bing on the switch. Robinson's going to put it on the hole. Comes off the pick from Lacey. Hands it off to Foster. Foster's shot is no good. Rebound Driscoll. Pistons are going to push the pace. Comives leads the break with Bing and Mueller. They get it over to Bing, and Bing lays it up and good. 20 for Bing. The lead is now down to 12. Detroit trying to make the comeback as Cincinnati looks for help on the offensive end. They get it to Robinson again. Robinson, the trigger man, drives, runs into Comives, no call. He gets the kiss off the backboard, and he has 12. And the lead is once again 14. Detroit needed to stop, couldn't get it. Comives now working on Robinson on the other end, shooting quickly. Won't go. Lacey with the rebound, but he is called for the loose ball foul on the play. And Bob Lanier will go to the line for one free throw. Lanier with a chance now to cut it to 13. And the Pistons will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Come on, Big Bob. Big Bob no good. Comive sneaks away with the offensive rebound for Detroit, and the Pistons will have another opportunity to put points on the board. Dave Bing works against Foster. He drives, he shoots. It's off the rim, no good. Lacey with the rebound, and Lanier fouls him. That is 5 on Lanier, but it's desperation time in Detroit. And it will be Nate Archibald shooting one for Cincinnati. Archibald only 8 points on the game, but 6 rebounds and 5 assists. And he measures the free throw, gets it to go, and the lead is back to 15 for Cincinnati, like it's been most of the period. They look inside to Otto Moore. Jump hook, no good. Rebound, Johnny Green. And the Boo Birds are starting to come out in Detroit as Archibald brings the ball up slowly. We're under 4 minutes to play. The lead is still 15 for the visiting Royals. They don't like what they see on the first rotation. They pull it back out. Foster now with it. Looks inside to Johnny Green. Johnny Green's jump shot spins out, but he is bumped by Comives. And it will be Johnny Green to the free throw line. Already 31 points, 11 boards on the night. Looking for more. His first free throw foul falls off. But Green will have the opportunity to convert the second, and he cannot get it to go. Dishinger with the rebound for Detroit. Hope springs eternal for the Pistons as they set the offense. They look inside to Dischinger. He steps away on the baseline. His jump shot is everything but in. The ball is tipped away out of bounds to Cincinnati. That ball went around and halfway down before it fell out. Tough break for Terry Dischinger and for the Pistons, as the Royals now have the ball, still leading by 15 with just over 3 minutes to play in the basketball game. Cincinnati takes their time, sets the offense with Hyder. Hyder's going to look inside to Charlie Paulk on the switch against Bing. Hyder can't find Paulk. Hyder takes it himself. Shot off the glass, no good. Tipped by Dirking, no good. Rebound, Jimmy Walker. Jimmy Walker on the fast break with Otto Moore. Takes care of the ball, gets it to Moore down low, and Moore dunks it. 10 more of those, and the Pistons may be back into the ball game, but the time is running low. Cincinnati working slowly, letting some time run. They get it inside to Van Arsdale. He can't get the short jump shot to go, but Dirking grabs the rebound, and the Royals have a fresh 24. Back out it goes. As Cincinnati runs some clock. 16 on the shot clock. Archibald works against Bing. Archibald's going to put it on the floor. He's cut off by Moore. His shot is swatted away by Dischinger. Rebound by Moore, and there is a whistle and a foul on the play, and that is going to go against Hyder. Greg Hyder with the foul, the rookie, gets it to Jimmy Walker to shoot 2 free throws. 2.5 to play as Walker steps to the line. His first shot is good. 19 for Walker. He's looking for 20. And Walker lines it up and good. Pistons now hit the century mark, but they've still got an 11-point deficit to contend with. 2.5 minutes to play. Cincinnati burning clock. They're going to look inside to Johnny Green now, 14 on the shot clock. Green posts up against Dischinger. Turnaround jump shot is good, and he draws the foul on Mueller, and that is a dagger. 33 for Green with a chance for more. And the lead is once again 13, 2:20 to play, fourth period. Johnny Green's free throw is good, and he is without a doubt your star of the game. 34 points, 11 rebounds, and dueling with Bob Lanier all night. Detroit works quickly. Jimmy Walker. Jump shot is good. 22 for Walker. Can the Royals get a stop? Can the Pistons get a stop? Cincinnati works the perimeter, burning some clock. Under 2 to play. Van Leer. Perimeter drive, shot no good. Out of bounds to the Pistons. Pistons need a quick shot here. They're going to pick up the pace on the offense. They're going to crash the boards hard. They're going to turn on the full court press. And the Pistons are going to slow things down on their end. And they're going to pull back and play back on defense to protect the lead. Dave Bing is going to take control. Bing is stolen away by Van Leer. My goodness, Norm Van Leer, 2 steals tonight. And Archibald brings it up slowly. They've got Van Leer open, but they're going to pass the ball around the perimeter. Archibald works against Bing. 15 on the shot clock. They're going to burn some more clock. Cincinnati milking the clock. Down to 6 on the clock. They've got Van Arsdale open against Lanier on the switch. Van Arsdale's jump shot no good. Rebound by Walker. They're going to run the 2-on-1 break, but there's just over a minute to play now. Lanier is fouled by Van Arsdale on the play, and he will shoot 2, But with just over a minute to play, I don't think this is going to be enough. Van Leer's first shot is good. 27 on the night for Bob Lanier. And the second free throw spins out. Lacey with his 11th rebound of the night. And once again, the Royals are going to slow things down. I don't know that the AI has the wherewithal to start intentional fouling. But with a 11-point lead in the game's final minute, it probably wouldn't make a difference. Cincinnati burns clock. 12 on the shot clock. Under a minute to go in the game. Archibald. Outside. Gets it to Van Leer. Van Leer shot no good. Rebound Lanier. Pistons coming back. They're looking for another quick shot. Trying to beat the press. They get it to Walker. Walker floats to the basket. Layup no good, but he is fouled by Archibald. What are you doing, Nate Archibald? No fouls in this situation. Especially not against a guy like Jimmy Walker, who is deadly from the free throw line. Walker hits the first. Second shot is also good. 24 for Walker. The lead is down to single digits, but there's only 36 seconds to play in the game. Cincinnati will burn some more clock. 21 on the shot clock. They work the perimeter. Game clock is down to 24. Van Leer is going to go to work with 11 on the shot clock. They get it to Green in the lane. Green rises up and scores and gets fouled by Dischinger on the play. And Green will go to the free throw line. He has got 36 on the night now. A fantastic night for Jumpin' Johnny Green. Career night for Big Johnny, the veteran out of Michigan State. His 12th season in the NBA. As he looks for his 37th point of the night. His free throw is good. And with 21 seconds to play, the lead is 12. And there's nothing left but fans headed to the parking lot. Dave Bing is going to take the offense against Van Leer. Bing with the jump shot, that's good. But the shot clock is off, and the Royals don't have to shoot again. 10-point lead. And the Royals are just going to give the ball to Nate Archibald and let him dribble out the clock. Turn out the lights, the party's over. Dandy Don is getting his voice ready. As they get it to Lacey. They give it back to Archibald. And he runs out the clock, and that's the end of the game. Thank you to everybody who joined us here tonight. Our Red Sox fan, Bobby Catalano, Amish Elvis, made a cameo tonight. Dave Garner, thanks for stopping by. Rob never did give us the answer to his trivia question. My daddy was a pistol and I'm a son of a gun. ID Jester was stopping by. Dave Garner. And thank you to everybody for joining us here tonight for the Cincinnati win over Detroit. Cincinnati comes into Cobo Arena and beats the Pistons on the strength of that 30-14 third period. That was the entire difference in the ball game. As Johnny Green had a career night, leading all scorers with 37, 11 rebounds. Lacey also with 11 rebounds and 11 points for the Royals. 20 for Norm Van Leer to go with 7 assists and 6 rebounds. Detroit was led by Lanier with 27, but he struggled with foul trouble and managed only 28 minutes of action. They also got 24 from Jimmy Walker off the bench, 22 from Bing. Nobody else made it to double figures for Detroit. So fine team effort by the Royals tonight. As the Royals go to 4-7 and they jump over the Pistons into 5th place. Let's see. Let's take a look at the standings as they update. Yeah, Cincinnati is now fifth, Detroit sixth. Seattle barely hanging on to the fourth position as these three teams battle to see who will survive and stay on in the Silver Division for the next season. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. And that's our stream, and I am out of here.